Hello everybody, today I have learned a little bit about Python and I want to share this knowledge with you. And in a nutshell, I learned how you can separate information into a different archive. So began, creating archives at first. Let me show you this. Basically, on Python and on several things, for what I know, in several programming language, we can create another file like this one that contains information, because one thing you need to know about computers that we have two types of information, what we call the hard drive information, or hard or permanent or long memory. It can be any one of those, are the memory of computer that lasts, like files, like a game, a novel, or anything really that is saved. Some cache in Google, a school report, everything that needs to be constantly opened. And then there's a second, which is RAM memory. RAM memory is the memory of the computer that is not permanent. It is just for the duration of the runtime of some, for example, program. For example, a RAM would be OBS. OBS uses RAM because it is immediately used, but it will not save the information like the information in RAM, just like it does in hard drive. So in a hard drive from videos, the videos are what comes, it's not a hard drive anymore, but still in a solid state. In normally, yeah, exactly. So the videos are being stored as long memory, and the other information is stored as short memory. Why I'm telling you this? Because all variables, dictionaries, and lists that we have been learning to now got stored into the RAM. So that means that if I don't know, for example, trip into a power cable or a tornado, which doesn't never happen in Brazil, but still, if a tornado hits the town and my computer is not destroyed, just the cut off the energy will make me lost absolutely all of information, and RAM is more expensive to maintain. And imagine you having an entire data bank just holding RAM. You would need to have hundreds of RAM just to it to be extremely dangerous for just can be gone in an instant. So that's pretty bad. So I'm now learning how to archive this information in the permanent way, so you need to worry about power outages and none of the stuff. So for here, for example, we have kind of a lot of, so I'm gonna run down with them. So let's do this. This hash is for commenting, so I'm commenting some of the code so I can run them later. I have some codes because there are a lot of, I think there were like 2 codes per class, like 3 classes. So here's the first code. Here my first code is creating a archive. So you can see here, just boom, it created an archive. I don't know if you can see, which I think you can't, but let's test again. Yes, it's already created here. So if I delete this file, that's because since there is already a file, boom, now it's deleted. Now I go to manage users, and I would create it again. Now you can see it actually created. You can see here, and what's basically doing here, I'm setting my archive, which is a variable used route, and it's the variable that holds the information of me creating this file. and it's set up to open, which is to open the archive and name this archive, for example, test archive, which is exactly the name I set it up to be, .txt, which is extremely important because if it's not .txt, then it won't hold information well. Yeah, pretty much well. It's not going to hold out the information for much long, and it's very easy, and well, you don't need to read it in a special type of way. In programming, you read the letters as you type them. So if you type, for example, a novel, the computer won't understand the novel, and it will try to process as code, and every single letter or every single phrase inside will try to be turned as code, and I don't think it will work. So well, with the setting that txt, I can just start it away with no problem. But you can create code, which is very interesting because you technically can create code that creates code that creates code that creates code, and you just go through a cycle. That's probably a good way to crash the computer or suck away the memory very, very quickly. I don't know if there's hard drive there, but now I'm curious. But well, let's keep going here. So it's setting up the information and it's setting up the name of the information, or sorry, the name of my archive. And here it's setting up this label. It's just setting up what my information will be. This one is to, for example, write. So H. You can alter, you can read, and I think you can do some other stuff. But here, that's the main tree for what I know, or the main tree I know is about. So I have those, and here, wait, I'm still talking about the code. So here's my creation slash defining what will be. Here it is writing inside, and is my first archive, baby. And you can see actually that it's inside when I open the write a archive, random archive. It's exactly what it's inside. So you can see here what I wrote down, and here, which is my first archive, baby, is the same thing because I wrote it out to be. You can put a variable, which is why it becomes so useful. You just, instead of a set thing, you can just put a variable on it and you store information forever. And actually can make a tiny example of this. Just let's go let's go just to input, and my input will be your name. I will set up the information as name in, I think there's already a name. Real name equal inputs your name, and here I just go and well put it here. No worse, just real name. I'm using real name because I think I already used name in CCI. Oh, I'm not importing, so there's just no. I'm not using name because the other code I'm importing the code for somewhere. So, but here name, okay. And now when I run this up, and actually the last code here is closed because here I'm opening it, so it's still open. So I need to close it so it can be accessed because now it's being well edited. So here close, and when when I run it, it will ask, for example, here I just ran it. Your name, I will put Deus, and boom, it ends. Here, a very interesting point is that, well, what can I say? It's resetting basically my information because since I already had one, it just is overriding the information inside of that one, basically deleting it, just using its same husk or the same name. Kind of brutal if you think about it, but wow, since it has no life, there is no problem with it. But here I'm just creating, well, I'm just storing information forever. Now details is a archive which I can just close the program which I want, because, well, I need to record this, re-record this, and, well, I need to open again, but it started forever. My code has stopped. I just stopped my code, as you can see, and, well, the information is still here. As normally it would just, well, we just delete the information. Alright. Okay, so that's the first code. I'm creating an archive. Here I will, for example, here I can open and I can alter an archive, which is much, I wouldn't say much more interesting. I would say just the right level interesting. First, let's change the name. Let's go something with Bionic. So it's Details Bionic. And here, let me read for you what is exactly happening here. Also, I think, yeah, okay, because it's just this code. So basically, here I have a very tiny code. You can see just 2 lines and with open. So here I'm setting a loop, and the thing I'm opening an archive here. So with the open archive, which is now test archive, with and space, so it's pretty different. In programming, just this means, well, everything. As you can see, this is the code I have, and this is the code I have. No, sorry, it's the same archive. Yeah, because I have 2 archives. One of them, all of them with the same name. I need something. Okay. But what's it's still his name? Sorry. Okay. So I'm setting up as my test archive will be altered, and all this information will be stored. This archive will be stored in, it's not exactly a variable, but it's defined as archive. So here I take my archive and I write it as if I'm altering it. You don't need to specify here that you are altering it. When you put altering, instead of the last time you did overwrote the information, here I just adding new stuff. So when I run this test, and here you can see here, I'm just adding Bionic, and for those who doesn't know, design things makes it to jump a all design things makes a jump in the line, so it's pretty much the equivalence of enter in somewhere. So I just will run here again, and now you can see Bionic. And if I didn't have this little thing here and just had a space, I can do this, and you can see how it works, because now it will go down and down, if I remember correctly. No, yeah, it was just now type here, because what happened is that since I had information below like this, I'm just writing off exactly where I left, which is here. So I have a space and then a name. I had a space and then a name. So if I remove everything besides the tails, just run again, boom. Well, it's now below, but you probably got it. I am altering my code, just I'm not rewriting it as I was by creating another code. I am just, well, I am just editing it. I can add information inside, and that's very important, because you don't have to have a code that needs to store the information, and then every time it needs to update it needs to take out the information and then lay it out down again with the new stuff. So that's a lot of data, especially if you're talking big data. Like, imagine if you have 100 gigs of data from people, which, believe it or not, is not actually that big for big data. Sometimes you're working with terabytes, because, well, there are that many people. For example, if everyone if we had, for example, everyone in Brazil with a kilobyte of data, which is pretty low, we still have a very decent size information, big data, and that's 1 kilobyte. I think is like um, a what a sentence is no, it's not a sentence because sentences are much shorter, but it's pretty much a paragraph of stuff, of written stuff, not images. Okay, you are not putting images inside there. So, well, I would say more a megabyte, then it would be more reasonable. But even still, we'll have hundreds of gigs of people. Maybe not hundreds if it's megabytes, but still. If you just have 1 megabyte, you probably have several gigs for yourself only. So you don't need to take up the information, put it in RAM, which again, if anything goes down short, for example, the energy shortage, well, all those informations, all of those, maybe hundreds of gigs of information gone or corrupted or something like that. So here you're just adding new stuff without needing to, well, explode new one. And so that's pretty much it. I actually learned a lot more about it, but since the video is getting kind of long, I will make this a part 2 by showing you the rest of the code and the other code, which is actually the old code we used just now, well, modified. So that's pretty much it. I hope you like it, and if you did, subscribe and hit the like button. Not just that, but well, make a comment down below what you think it can be useful for and what uses you can see in the immediate action. I know I provided a pretty big example, which would probably, well, be the most used for, but think something, concoct something inside your head, because there are, I think, a lot of possibilities, and we probably don't talk much about it. But well, that's pretty much it. I have the course in the description if you want to access, but it's in Portuguese with no legends from what I know, so for no subtitles, sorry. So I think you can stick with me, which I'm probably gonna. I'm pretty much breaking down the course as I go along, showing you what I learned. But that's it. Have a great day, and well, see you the next day. Bye!